time of our independence, we actually had vessels, we had ships as a nation, Ghana, and as late or as recently as 1980, we were also in possession of some vessels. We have a dry dock, we have a marine college, but currently, as we sit here, we have no ships. I wonder why. Well, Uncle Achufamawa is a marine consultant, and he and I are going to have a conversation on this. If you've ever wondered about this, you can join in the conversation. And if you learned something, you just want to chip in, well, I will open the phone lines, and the TV3 Sunrise page on Facebook is open 24/7. So just post your thoughts and comments right there. Good morning and welcome to Sunrise once again.
Good morning.
This thing about us not having any sea vessels, does this surprise you at all?
Yes, it's a surprise to me because that was not the idea of the founder of this country, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Now, those days we had the Dempster, Palm Line, and a lot of foreign vessels coming to Ghana. And he sat and saw that we pay for some of the freight. That is, when we import things, we pay the freight. And it was quite enormous. So he decided to go with the Israelis, Zim Israeli, to form a joint venture to bring in ships. And we had the Tano River and the Volta River. They were steamships. That was around 1957. I was a kid. I was in Takoradi. I saw it. But before Kwame Nkrumah brought this thing, he had sent out people to go and study. And he also thought of the Nautical College, now the Maritime University, to train our own seagoing personnel. We had a harbor which was built by Gogisberg in Takoradi. Then he also thought of bringing another one to Tema, and then also the dry dock to make Ghana a very powerful maritime country, if not worldwide, but on the subcontinent. And along the line, he changed the old ships and bought in 16 new vessels. Then Acheampong also added 4 more. So as at 1980, Ghana had 20 ships which were carrying every one particular time 250,000 tons of cargo. We carried most of our cocoa, timber, bauxite, manganese. And you see, it will interest you to know that but for Black Star Line, the Akosombo wouldn't have been built. Because at that time when Kwame Nkrumah was trying to build Akosombo, the Western world was against the building of the dam to give us power, and the freight of about $100 they would charge $250. So Kwame Nkrumah said, why not? We have our own ship. We had a ship called Lake Busuntwi, which had a very big lifting power, 150 tons. So they used the Lake Busuntwi to go and lift all the equipment from Chicago and other places to build the dam. And you can remember, this one is for social service. When there was this Nigerian episode, the Black Star Line ship had to go and evacuate some of the Ghanaians. And I feel sad that we have the Maritime University, we train our captains, that is our cadet, and then other subsidiaries. When they finish, we don't have ships to train them. Kwame Nkrumah, in his wisdom, the moment he started this, he bought one cadet ship called the Nakwa River, on which everybody that goes through the Maritime Nautical College at that time to do the pre-sea, you are put on the ship. You do about 2 years to get your cadetship. From then you are transferred to the other vessels. And then we were not doing the senior courses, that is the chief mate and the masters. There we were sending them to UK. We were under the DTI, Department of Trade and Industry. To then later on they are doing all these courses here. It may interest you to know that the first black captain, Captain Techi Mason, I'm sure you heard of him,
yes,
was from Black Star Line. And we have about 5 female captains. Ghana has 5 female captains. If you go to the Maritime University, there are 4 teaching there. One is with the IMO in London. So I see we have all the potentials. We have the ingredients to make the soup. And there is no soup.
And there's no soup. Well, it's an interesting history recital that you just shared with me and with the viewers. And I'm looking at the information you gave me, and it says that as recently as 2006, we had imports and exports that were worth nearly $1 million and 10 million tons, $600,000, pardon me, in freight. You gave this wonderful history. So what accounts for the lack of Ghanaian-owned vessels. And when you say there are none, are you talking about private or public?
None.
So all our local freight forwarders and shipping companies, they don't even have a share in their vessels?
No. The freight forwarder is the one who sees to the documentation of import and export. That's the clearing agent. And then we have the shipping agent. When the ship comes,
the shipping lines, none are Ghanaian.
None. There is one new company, but that is doing, I think, Takoradi Tema. That's a feeder service. But we don't have.
Is it a profitable business?
Yes. Why are the Greeks doing the shipping? If I bought a ship of, let's say, 20-year-old ship for $2 million, 1 year I should be able to pay back. 1 year I should be, because the freight now, the minimum freight is $60 per the least cargo. Now we have the bulk cargo and the expensive cargo. So I don't know why. We have the ships, the port. Now there is going to be port extension, Takoradi and Tema. Who are going to use it? We let a white man come, take it. I could even believe that there could be a joint venture between some of the shipping lines and then the Ghanaians.
Are there any foreign-owned ships that are flying the Ghanaian flag that are simply registered in Ghana?
There is nothing. You see, there is a conflict between the Ghana Maritime Authority and the Ghana Institute of Marine Surveyors.
What's the conflict?
Okay, the Ghana Institute of Marine Surveyors are captains and chief engineers who are surveyors, and they have gone through the whole thing. They know the regulation. And then we have the Ghana Maritime Authority, which is the governing body. But then, because that place is staffed with more of non-professionals, so it's always very difficult for the two to come. And the ministry is sitting there as a lame dog. They do not know what to do. I believe that the ministry, the Ghana Maritime Authority, and the Ghana Institute of Marine Surveyors should come together. Now, about last 2 months, there was an article in the papers that the Ghanaians who go on foreign ships, there should be a convention, that the government should sign a protocol with this country so that we could employ the government hasn't done it. So all these seamen have been put back. They have been paid off, because if you haven't signed a convention, why would you put our people on? So this has the problem.
And we have the regional maritime university.
Yeah, I find it difficult that, well, we have about 6-7 boys who sometimes come to us. We give them short vessel to train these people. Because you see, on the ship we call it proficient certificate. You must do a sea time before you go to school. That is from the third officer. You do 18 months, you go to school, you do another 18 months, you go to school before. So it will take almost about 5 years to go to school.
Okay, Uncle Achuba, from what you've said, and giving examples of profitability and all this historical background, why doesn't the private sector, experienced people such as yourself? I personally have an uncle who is a captain, Captain Walker Arthur. Well, now he doesn't sail anymore, but as you mentioned, there are lots of professionals with tremendous experience. Why not come together, form a company, buy a ship, and make all that profit that you're talking about?
You see, let me tell you, we were operating a ship, but you see, we saw that the government was not caring. Now foreign ships come, we pay the same dues, everything. So we decided to charter it out to other foreign companies to do the business, because you must definitely, during the early times, when you operate a ship, when you come, you pay your bills in cedis. Now the port authority is charging us in dollars. So why would I want to do business and pay somebody when I'm making a loss? So we decided to go until we have grown old, so we had to let the ship go.
Are those some of the reasons for the failure of the Black Star Line?
No, the Black Star Line, the failure was government intervention. Let me tell you a story. One time they took a ship empty to Italy to buy aluminum sulfate for water. 1,000 tons of they took a 10,000 ton vessel to that place. That time the ministry. So I went to the secretary and I said, you make us look as we don't know what we are doing. If you have told us all we do is to charter a vessel to bring the product in, and it cost us about 20,000. Now we spent $900,000 to do a trip. Sometimes we sit down, we don't look at certain segment. We should all, it's like the social said, the water and sewage, electricity, everybody digging here, digging here. They should all sit down and plan so that we know the city plan, that when we want something, this is where we go.
What do you think has a better future prospect? And this is my last question for this morning's conversation. Would it be a private initiative or a public one? Or maybe the third option of what we call the public-private partnership?
I think the public-private will be better, because if it is private, they cut corners. If it's the government, they let the rope very loose, like Black Star Line. But it's for private government participant. I think it should be okay.
Wonderful. It's been very nice talking to you. I think it's a really interesting topic that you've broached, and I hope we can speak about it in more detail sometime on another episode of Sunrise. Uncle Achi, thank you very much for coming once again.
Thank you.
I really like this idea of us having our own vessels. Chief Omawa, marine consultant, talking to me about our ships. Where are they? Where are they?